applause, who here has been to an improv show before? A round of applause, who hasn't been to an improv show before?
Yeah!
For the uninitiated, the whole deal with improv is everything that you see here is going to be made up on the spot by our lovely cast of improvisers here. None of this has ever been performed or done before, and it will never be done again. So this is truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Yeah!
Woo! Okay, so, improvised relationship court. What's up with that, right? Well, in every relationship, there's conflict. Whether that be a romantic relationship, a friendship, your relationship with your roommates, your relationship with your classmates, etc. Every relationship has some sort of something that can go wrong. And so, ahead of Valentine's Day, maybe these conflicts are especially brewing in your mind. But I'm going to ask from the audience, first, for a suggestion of saying your name. So I'm going to say, can you give your name?
Steven!
I heard Andrea. Can I get a suggestion to hear what your hometown is?
Indianapolis.
And then now for this next suggestion, it's going to be a little bit more involved. I'm going to ask you to raise your hand if you have any sort of relationship conflict that you are comfortable sharing with us today. Past or present. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. And it can also be a conflict that your friend has, and you can pretend it was you or anything like that. But at this time, I'll ask, does anyone have any conflict they want to share? Yes!
Conflict. A couple of my friends have talked to me recently and felt like I was too busy to make time for them, and then they felt like they were becoming distant from me. So
I'm very sorry to hear that. That's a very difficult thing to go through. But you saying that does make me think of the case of Griffin v. Ramsey. So, the Sims present
Improvised Relationship Court, Griffin v. Ramsey.
Court is now in session. Thank you, bailiff. A round of applause for us. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it is important that you keep your ears open and your eyes open, because before you, you are going to see the case of Griffin v. Ramsey. And as the jury, it will be up to you at the end to help us render our verdict in whether or not the defendant, Ramsey, is guilty of unlawful distance. So, in this case, for the prosecution, the plaintiff, Griffin, accused their best friend, Ramsey, of unlawfully creating distance between them in their friendship. According to the prosecution, despite constant efforts from Griffin to better the bond between their relationship and keep in contact despite long distance after they went to different colleges after graduating high school, that Ramsey simply was not making enough time for Griffin. But according to the defense, according to Ramsey, there were no such attempts from Griffin, and in fact, they drifted naturally, as friends often do, and that it is not unlawful for distance to be forged in these types of relationships, and that it's merely a factor of life, that this was not unlawful distancing, that this was in fact lawful distancing. And so, we will see the case as it happened, and as it's going to happen right now. So, can the defense please present their opening statement?
Folks of the court, my client, Ramsey, Jordan Ramsey, Peter Jordan Ramsey, his friends call him Pete, is a busy man. He goes to a college on the other coast from his dear friend Griffin, and it's hard maintaining a long-distance friendship. What, is one FaceTime call a week not enough? Is 2 FaceTime calls a week not enough? How do you maintain a friendship from coast to coast? This is a two-way street. And the fact that Pete Ramsey here has perhaps created distance between himself and Griffin, why? That's not his fault, nor is it a crime. It is certainly not the heinous crime of unlawful distance, as the prosecution will have you think. In fact, Pete is a wonderful friend and simply a busy man on the other side of the coast. On the other coast, the other side of the country. Today we'll hear from a character witness to testify to Pete's great, kind, caring nature to the friends that are around him in person. We will hear a testimony of an eyewitness. Everyone knows what that is. Someone who saw that the crime did not occur. We will hear from an expert witness who will testify as to the psychology behind long-distance friendships and how they are a two-way street, and distance, in fact, need not always be of the crime unlawful distance. So I beg you, the jury, to take this into consideration when you hear the prosecution, and keep in mind that they need to prove beyond any reasonable doubt that my client is guilty of unlawful distance. Thank you.
You may deliver your opening statement.
I'm here today on behalf of the plaintiff, Vanessa Griffin. And it has been stated that friendships fading is a natural thing. I beg to differ. This is not natural diffusion of friendship. What we see here is unlawful distance. My client, Alexander Griffin, had made many... Forgive me. I called Vanessa Griffin by her nickname, Alexandra. Vanessa Alexandra Griffin tried to make many attempts to bring their friendship closer, to even fly to the other coast to visit Ramsey. We have undeniable evidence that Ramsey turned away Griffin, my client. We have undeniable evidence. And once we hear from an eyewitness, a character witness who will attest to the persistence of Vanessa Griffin, and an expert witness who can talk more about unlawful distance. Thank you, Your Honor.
Can the defense call their first witness to the stand?
I would like to call the character witness, Mr. Jordan Ramsey's mother. Hello, Mrs. Ramsey.
Hello.
May you please state your name, age, and occupation for the jury?
Yes, my name is Laura Ramsey. I am 56 years old, and I have been working at an ice cream shop for the past 15 years.
So, Mrs. Ramsey, would you mind telling us a little bit about Jordan? How he is as a son and a person?
Yes, well, Jordan is a very, very kind boy. I would say that ever since the day he was born, he's been always making attempts to cheer me up, bring me gifts and whatnot. I would say he's caring.
Let us see Exhibit A for evidence of that.
Mom, here, I brought you some ice cream. Thank you, Pete.
Thank you.
As you can see, Pete, kind, caring, thoughtful. Now, Miss Ramsey, can you tell us what activities Pete has been involved in? The various activities.
Oh, well, my Pete, over the last 2 years has volunteered with the Red Cross, actually. Pete has been shipped out to many different places and helped people build houses and food drives and whatnot. I mean, why, I love that boy. He's very kind.
Gosh, one final question. Would you say that your son Pete is busy?
Oh, yes. I mean, as I just stated, he's often off doing humanitarian efforts and helping others. Why, he's so busy he hasn't even talked to me in the past year.
His own Thank you. Remember, Pete, kind, thoughtful. So busy doing humanitarian things, hasn't even talked to his mom. No further questions.
Can we get a cross-examination?
Oh, must I stay up?
Yes, you must.
Yes, please. Would you please state your name, age, occupation for the court?
Yes, I am Laura Ramsey. I am 56. And for the past 15 years, I've been working at an ice cream shop.
Excellent. So, tell us more about Pete being busy. How often does he call?
Oh, I mean, he has not called in the past year, as I stated. I would say maybe once every year and a half he'll give me some updates on his most recent efforts.
And when you have these once a year and a half calls, do you feel that he's ever cranky?
Oh, cranky. Well, you know, sometimes his efforts are difficult. Last time he called, he was saving a rhinoceros from a ditch as he was talking to me. Well, he was a bit upset.
Let's see that. Exhibit B.
Yeah, no, I'm still single.
Interesting. And did this or did this not happen on your birthday?
Yes, it did happen on my birthday.
Your 50th birthday.
Yes,
A very special one.
6 years ago, yes.
thank you for your testimony. Now will the prosecution call their first witness to the stand?
I'd like to call my first witness to stand. We have an eyewitness. Will you please state your name, age, occupation for the court?
Yeah, Riley Scottsdale, 25. Yeah, I work at the bookstore. Also a grad student.
What were you doing on February 10th at the bookstore?
Well, I was standing there trying to sell an iPad to this student.
Objection! Narration.
Your Honor, we're setting the scene for the case.
I'll sustain the objection. Get to it faster.
There I was in the bookstore, and I saw these two kids. I recognized them, well, because what's his face, Peter. He goes to my school, and so there he was. And then this girl walked in and was like, "Oh my gosh, Peter, it's been so long. I just flew out to visit you."
And what was Peter's reaction?
Oh man, I mean, he was not happy. Listen, I've had some exes in my day that I've been not excited to see, but I let me tell you, she must have done something awful to him if this was the way he reacted. I mean,
Objection! That is conjecture about our client. That is unstated.
Overruled.
so there he was, and he just wow. I mean, he looked like he wanted to just go jump out of the window of the bookstore.
Unfair extrapolation.
Sustained. That last comment will be stricken from the record.
Anyway, so he didn't look that good.
And once Peter stormed out of the bookstore and left Vanessa just standing there.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, I was telling you about this earlier. That's okay, right? That she just is recording our conversation from earlier.
The witness statement, yes.
And what did Vanessa say to you after that happened?
Well, Vanessa said, "This is crazy, man. I just flew out to visit him. I don't know. We seem to be on good terms. Do you have Skittles?" And I said, "No. I'm sorry that Peter's not excited to see you. 'Cause, I mean, he said he didn't look excited to see you."
No further questions. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Can we get a cross-examination of this witness from the defense?
Yes. May you please restate your name, age, and occupation for the court, please?
Yeah, Riley Scott, 25. I work at the bookstore.
And Riley, I seem to notice in your testimony a bit of apathy. Can I ask about that?
I mean, this is just sort of the way that I talk. Let me tell you, I've worked in the bookstore for a lot of years now, since I was a sophomore, and I've learned that people are fickle, and that they're not really worth your time. So that maybe that was what you sensed in my witness statement, or a nihilistic perspective.
Thank you for clarifying that for me, Riley. And if I am to understand this nihilism correctly, might a nihilist, as you state to be yourself, lie in your testimony?
Objection! This is just outright accusing my client of lying.
Rebuttal, Your Honor, it was a question.
Overruled. We'll see this through.
Well, I guess you could say that I don't Well, I don't think that the courts, I think that the justice system is deeply flawed.
I love this free expression of thought. Please, as your final statement, Riley, can you just talk a little bit about how much you dislike the legal system in this country?
Oh, don't even set me off, man. It's just a bunch of random people that they selected, and like anyone can get out of it if they just say that like they have some like moral opposition, and then there's like some weird, it's like a team battle, so it's like less about trying to get justice and more about like getting paid as a lawyer. Like, no offense, but it just feels like kind of like a waste of time, and I'm gonna say it, like I just don't think that unlawful distance should even be a crime. And I think that if I recall correctly through
Well, I'll stop you there, jury. I'll have you know that you were spoken to as a waste of time. No further questions, Your Honor.
right, you're excused. Thanks.
Will the defense call their next witness to the stand?
Yes, I would like to call an eyewitness to the stand, please. May you please state your name, age, and occupation for the court, please.
My name is Betty James. I am 24, and I work as a seamstress.
Yes. As I understand it, Betty, you were in that bookstore on that day. Can I ask whether you entirely agree with the way that your last witness stated the events?
Yeah, well, I was quite taken aback by her persona. She just seemed like she didn't even care about anything.
Objection. Unfair extrapolation. How are we deciding that she didn't seem like she didn't care about anything?
Thank you, Mrs. Judge. Anyways, like I was saying, I just don't agree with what she said. I mean, when I was at the bookstore reading my book on fabric colors, I thought that Mr. Pete, is that our defendant?
Yes.
Mr. Pete Ramsey, he seemed pretty excited to see his girlfriend, you know?
Yes. Would you say that this Pete Ramsey, on the day of, appeared to be a kind and loving person?
Oh.
Objection. I'm starting to realize that we don't know if the witness actually knows who Pete Ramsey is. Counsel, can you rectify this?
Yes. Can you please point out the defendant to the courtroom?
Right there.
Thank you for clarifying that. Now, as you were saying, the chief character was very happy to see his significant other.
Yes, he had a whole smile on his face. He ran up to her. Yeah, it looked like he was having a great time.
And one final question for my witness, Your Honor. Would you say that upon witnessing this interaction, that Pete seemed to be the type of person who would unlawfully distance from a friend or significant other?
Of course not.
May we get a cross-examination?
Could you please restate your name, age, and occupation for the court?
My name is Betty. Betty James. I am 24, and I'm a seamstress.
Did you know Pete Ramsey before the day that you saw him in the bookstore, Betty?
Yes. I did actually. You see, I go to the same college as him. He's known to be a humanitarian lover. He's on the front page of all magazines. Everyone knows who Pete is.
And so, do you have a personal relationship with him, or do you just know who he is?
Well, I like to say that I have a
the objection on the behalf of the witness, and the witness doesn't know what to do.
Objection. Hearsay. This is hard me to believe that this here attorney is reporting accurately what the witness just said.
Sustained on account of hearsay. Yes, yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So please answer the questions.
Well, Jesus Christ. You're a little feisty one, Mrs. Jackson. Well, okay. Fine, Miss Griffin. Vanessa's my ex-girlfriend, okay? Yeah, it doesn't matter though. I was just at the bookstore reading my fabric book.
And how do you feel about your ex-girlfriend, Vanessa? Are you on good terms? Bad terms? Horrible terms?
I think that Vanessa is a great human being who deserves love and happiness.
And can you reenact the details of your breakup, please? Exhibit C.
God damn it, Vanessa! You just don't even care about me. I always try and show you how my fabric works, and you always say, that's good, Betty.
Fabric work? Whenever I ask you how you feel about me, you just say, I wish you love and happiness.
I do wish you love and happiness.
I see it with my own eyes. You never made me anything. You make all your friends think.
Come on, Vanessa. It just seems like you're a different person than me, and we should not be together.
Fine.
Thank you.
So, would this give you any reason to, say, side with, well, anyone, even someone you'd just seen on a magazine cover, over your ex-girlfriend who mysteriously showed up at the college that you were at after a very long plane ride without letting you know beforehand?
Well,
No further questions.
what? Hold on. I didn't get to speak.
Well, the prosecution called our next witness to the stand.
Okay. I would like to call up, I would like to call up the plaintiff. Vanessa Griffin. Could you please state your name, age, and occupation for the court?
Yes. Vanessa Griffin, 20. I'm a college student.
Great. And, well, how often do you communicate with Peter Ramsey?
Well, it used to be like every day. Like twice a day. Definitely more than with his mother. Yeah, like I would just drop by whenever I knew he was free between classes. And drop by and give him a call. And he was always so happy to pick up, happy to see me. Even when he was on his big trips to save rhinoceroses, rhinos and things like that. Then he just stopped, cut me off, cold.
Wow, so he used to not be too, he was a busy man, he's been a busy man for a while, but he wasn't too busy for you, because you were best friends, is that correct?
Yeah, best friends. We were in the Red Cross Club at school. There are only two of us and the sponsor, but we were best friends. We
You know
bonded.
what? Let's see that. Let's see exhibit C or D.
Yeah, bad luck at the club fair.
I still have 100.
Yeah, I have my 100 too. Vanessa, maybe we should just do the club, you and me.
Just us?
Yeah.
And Miss Martin?
Well, yeah, I guess we need her around.
Yeah, just you and me.
Yeah, we can help the world ourselves.
Yeah, we can save the world ourselves.
Yeah. Thanks for doing this with me, Vanessa. Of course. It's like to be the only person in Red Cross.
Yeah, well,
lacrosse club, and they soon became best friends, but wow, he cut you off, didn't he? When was it? When did he stop returning your calls? When did he get too busy to text you back?
Well, if I remember correctly, it was December 7th at 2 p.m.
And you know this because you texted with such regularity.
Yes, twice a day, like I said. And I called him the day before, and so it was a little late already but for our daily call, you know. But I called him, and he didn't pick up. And then he sent me a text.
And
It said, I'm going to save the rhinos myself.
my heart goes out to you, Vanessa. And I just have one more question, which is, do you think that something changed within Peter that made him create this unlawful distance? What do you think triggered this?
Yeah, I think it was arrogance, honestly. Going off to college on the coast. He didn't need another person in his club. It was just him and the Red Cross.
Just him and the Red Cross. I thought it would just be him and the Red Cross, and so he cut Vanessa off. Thank you. No further questions.
Thank you. Can we now get a cross-examination of the witness?
Vanessa, would you say that you're a perfect person?
Objection. Argumentative.
I was literally just asking a question relating to an adjective.
Well, it feels argumentative.
Objection! This is a defense lawyer. So.
Anyone want to make a call? Any jurors want to make a call? Overruled. Please ask the question. Restate the question.
Vanessa, would you say that you're a perfect person?
Well, not exactly, but I don't have that many flaws.
Did you not just call Mr. Peter James the defendant? Did you not just call him arrogant?
Objection! This has already been stated.
Exactly.
Move on to your next
Okay,
question.
sorry. Vanessa. Okay. When was the last time you did not respond to a text?
Ever? Any text?
Or an email? Or a phone call? Or a letter?
Gosh. 5th grade because I was sick with the flu and stuck in bed. Oh.
Okay. Well, would you say, Vanessa, that in your relationship, in your friendship with my defendant, you had never once missed an interaction, missed a text or a phone call?
Never.
Okay. Well, are you busy?
We would like to submit evidence for the court to view.
Exhibit E.
Exhibit E. In fact, this is a record of a text conversation anonymously submitted.
Yes. So, Vanessa said, "Hello, how are you doing?" Jordan said, "I'm doing great. How are you?" Red. At 2 p.m. No response. Jordan says, "Hello?" Sad emoji. No
Objection.
response.
The evidence has the person's name is Jordan. That is the middle name. How do we know that this is the right person who's replying?
Rebuttal. We literally said that their middle name is Jordan. Therefore, perhaps Vanessa here was being cheeky.
Objection. We don't know that the person texting back is Pete Jordan Ramsey.
Well, to settle this objection battle, let us ask the witness, is this in fact, or you may ask the question.
Is this in fact the text conversation between you and the defendant, Jordan Ramsey?
Yes.
Thank you. No further questions.
Thank you. Ms. Griffin, you are excused. Will the defense call their next witness to the stand?
Peter. Pete Jordan Ramsey. Hello, Peter. I know it's been a long day. Can you please just state your name, age, and occupation for the jury?
Yeah, let me clear this up. So, my name is Peter Jordan Ramsey. My friends call me James at times. I am 20 years old, and while I am a student I am a student in name, first and foremost, I consider myself a humanitarian, somebody who likes to help others.
Thank you, Peter. So, could you please describe your relationship with the plaintiff?
Yes, well, Vanessa and I have gone to school together for many years, and for a good some of those years we had a close friendship of sorts. But as it stands, I would say we're no longer that close.
And why would you say you're not this close?
Well, isn't it natural? I mean, I live on the other coast from Vanessa, and, well, we both have our own lives. I think we've naturally drifted. Any sort of distance, I would say, is quite normal.
And this distance wasn't intentional.
No.
It is because you are busy doing your humanitarian acts.
Yes, I've been going out and saving many more animals than I used to. I guess I just don't really have the time for a friend on the other coast.
No further questions.
Can we get a cross-examination of the witness?
You say you're saving animals. You have no time for a friend on the other coast.
Yes, that is what I would say.
And how much time in a day would you say you spend saving animals?
Well, on a day that I am saving animals, not doing my studies, I would say 16 hours or so.
It's a long time, sir.
Yes, sir. And how much time do you spend sleeping?
Well, I get about 6 on average.
Right, 16 plus 6, 22. The rest 2 hours.
Objection! The defendant deserves at least 2 hours of a day to himself.
Your Honor, you should have more than 2 hours a day. I'm disappointed.
Overruled.
So, in those 2 remaining hours, you spend time doing what?
Well, I guess I have to eat at times, and, I guess there are some people that I still see.
You see people. You have friends.
Yeah.
Objection! Trying to get something out of it.
Irrelevant.
Overruled and overruled. Very relevant to the case.
Yeah, I see people. I see some people.
Who do you see and when?
Some of my friends at the university, some of the animals that I've saved in the past.
So in your remaining 16 hours a day spending time more time with their friends. What did you say?
Objection. Define average person.
The average person who sleeps 8 hours a day, and goes to school 12 hours a day, and spends time with their friends like us would be.
I can answer this one. I can answer it. I would say I don't consider myself an average person.
Arrogant.
Arrogant? No, I would consider myself kind, a humanitarian, philanthropic even.
No further questions.
Mr. Ramsey, you are excused. The prosecution call their next witness to stand.
I call our character witness who can attest to Miss Griffin's persistence. Witness, can you please? Yes, we have our rhino translator. Please state your name, age, and occupation for the court.
The witness says their name is. Their age is 15. Their occupation is member. I'm not sure if I'm getting this right. Member of a local preserve. Community leader.
Honorable, community leader of the local Blue Hills Preserve. How long have you known Vanessa Griffin?
Well, it all started. She rescued me from a big crevice in there. And then I was so stuck in that.
Objection. Narration of the story.
Yes, can we sum it up in but a sentence? Sustained.
I weigh 400 pounds. And Vanessa Griffin hauled me out of the crevice with one other person. That shows persistence.
And who was this other person? Miss has clearly just identified the defendant in the court. And Miss could you describe here in detail, perhaps, when you were hauled out of the crevice? Who was doing most of the hauling? I believe this is no translation. Vanessa Griffin.
Oh, of course, yeah, of course.
And just to be completely clear, what did the other person do? Were they hauling? And what were they doing instead?
Someone shut this rhino up!
Defendant is speaking out of turn.
Sustained.
Well, Wu was saying that, in fact, Pete James, as Wu lovingly calls him, was having an allergic reaction to some peanut butter. So he took the box. And, in fact, was not helping at all, so much as writhing around on the floor, clutching at his throat.
Is there evidence for this?
Excuse me, this is actually it sounds like this is a hearsay objection, but this was actually a emotional exclamation that we were referring to.
Oh,
in
an
this
excited utterance.
An
Yeah,
excited
a known hearsay exception to the objection.
I'm not a lawyer. I took it in a couple law classes, in addition to the translator.
You're so thankful for your presence here, and we've clearly been able to see that we have Miss Griffin, the persistent holler of Miss and the other person, Pete Ramsey, who was having an allergic reaction. No further questions.
Can we now get a cross-examination
Your Honor, before the cross-examination, I'd like to make a formal petition to the court to remove this rhino for lack of being a viable witness.
Objection! Discrimination in the court.
Sustained. That was a rather discriminatory statement, and your petition is denied outright.
All right, Rhino, state your name and age and occupation.
I have to butt in. I have to ask that you call the witness by her name.
All right. May you please restate your name, age, and occupation for the court?
She says her name is. Her age is 15, and her occupation is painting, if you really want to know. She has hobbies too.
Now, you stated that you saw my defendant here having an allergic reaction to some sort of peanut. Am I correct? Now, would you say that you might have had anything to do with why a peanut was there at the scene?
No.
Now, I have here your list of daily supplements from the Blue Valley Sanctuary. Am I correct to read that among grass, bananas, a meat of some sort, that peanut butter is among your daily rations?
Let's see that. Exhibit F.
Meat of some sort. Peanut butter, your favorite.
Thank you.
Now, as I don't want to disgrace your time, kind jury, with the mumblings of someone who I feel is not fit to be a witness in this court, I will ask one final question. One final question. All right? Do you have a history of any sort of conspiring or plans that you've ever made with the plaintiff, Vanessa Griffin?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't recall.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Listen, you are dismissed. Now may the defense call their final witness. witness to the stand?
Yes, please.
Our expert witness, may you please state your name, age, and occupation?
My name is Jonathan Durford. I am a Red Cross employee.
And what is your age, please?
30.
30. Great. Now, as a Red Cross employee, you understand exactly how busy fellow Red Cross employees may be. Am I correct?
Yeah, they're really busy.
Can you talk me through just an average schedule of what one Red Cross employee might do?
Yeah. You wake up, you praise God. Then you go, you do your duties, you go eat some breakfast. You then have to make breakfast for people who can't eat breakfast. You then have to clean everything. Clean your house, clean other people's. Then you go on your humanitarian animal saving mission. Then you get back. You're not done yet.
Objection! This is taking forever.
Exactly.
Please continue.
Thank you. Anyways, I'll shorten it up. You get back from your animal savings, and then you're still helping people out. You have to go on the street and, make sure people are doing okay and wave at them and everything.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you.
May we see a cross-examination of the witness?
Would you please restate your name, age, occupation for the court?
I'm Jonathan Durford. I'm 30. I am a Red Cross employee.
What does being a Red Cross employee exactly entail?
Objection. We just heard this.
Asked and answered.
In your time working as a Red Cross employee, have you ever worked with a Pete Jordan Ramsey?
Yes.
And have you ever worked with a Vanessa Griffin?
Yes.
And who would you say is more the humanitarian?
Objection. This is our expert witness. I don't feel like he should be having to comment on the character of the plaintiff and defendant.
Response, counsel. Rebuttal, an expert of their workplace relationship.
Overruled.
Tell me, have you ever been present when Ramsey and Griffin were interacting?
Yeah.
And what would you say their interactions were like?
I would say they were pretty friendly.
Define friendly.
Gosh. They would, Jordan would say hello, Vanessa would say hello, they'd have some, what you say, small talk, and then they would go about their day, they would, laugh, joke. They seemed to be in good spirits.
Was there ever tension?
Tension?
Tension.
Gosh. I don't love talking about tension as a Red Cross employee.
Here's a witness. You need to talk about the tension.
Objection. Aggression towards the witness.
She's right. Overruled.
Well, yeah, I guess there was some tension, as all human beings.
Tell me about that tension.
Well, sometimes, like, Peter would, he would make a face, and Vanessa would be like,
I'd say that as Exhibit G.
Thank you. Absolutely appalling.
witness to the stand?
I would like to call my expert witness, another Red Cross employee. Now, would you be a dear and please state your name, age, occupation for the court?
Of course. Mary Marilla. I am 45, and I am a Red Cross employee.
Wonderful. Have you ever been present when Ramsey and Griffin were interacting?
Oh, of course. I'm Jonathan's supervisor, so
Oh.
I'm going to oversee.
Right. Pete also goes by Jonathan.
Objection. I believe she was talking about Jonathan, our second expert witness.
Jonathan Durst. I see. And what is your relationship to Jonathan in the workplace? Would you say it's friendly, you're on good terms?
Yes, we have quite a friendly, jovial, well, I'm jovial. And I don't think Jonathan's just too scared of tension, you know. He doesn't like talking about those things. That's why I'm the supervisor.
Interesting. And as the supervisor, you oversee all the work, is that correct?
Correct.
Yes, and can you tell me, is the amount of work assigned to Griffin versus Ramsey, is it equal, or does one have more work than the other that would make them more busy?
Well, yes. We try to keep it as even as possible, but I would say Vanessa is usually assigned a bit more work.
Vanessa is assigned more work.
She's very capable. Women in the workplace, I'm telling you.
Very interesting. And how much less work do you give Ramsey?
Gosh. Well, at the very beginning, I thought he could handle, maybe just one less case file than Vanessa, but, towards the end, 10.
No further questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we get a cross-examination of the witness?
Yeah, can you please state your name, your age, and your occupation for the court?
Happy to do so. I'm Mary Marilla. I'm 45. I'm a Red Cross employee.
Cool. So, I guess you could sort of start by talking about, why, why.
Objection, the attorney is stalling on questions.
No, I'm not stalling on questions. Could you please explain why you give Pete less work?
Well, I quite think I've already answered this question because he just took a bit more time, he also just didn't want to be.
Okay, so you're talking about.
He didn't want to be in the same room as Vanessa.
Wait a second. Can we just rewind? And when you said it took a little bit more time, actually, I'm intrigued by that actually. Because hold on, I'm thinking for a second. That's intriguing actually, because then you'll find that they're both putting in the same amount of time. It's just that maybe Pete Jordan is a little bit slower with his work. Would you say that maybe he's a little less efficient with his time?
Yes. Yes,
So,
I would say that.
so would you then say that maybe he's less efficient at things in general, and maybe he doesn't have the capacity that Vanessa does to be a good friend?
Well, I suppose so.
And do you think maybe, just because I feel like everyone's going to get mad at me if I don't circle back to the fact that he didn't want to work in the same room as her, do you think that maybe he didn't want to work in the same room as her because she made him feel bad because she was such a fast worker? And he was a lot slower and was treated differently by their bosses?
Well,
No further questions.
I made every.
And now for the final phase of the trial, we will get our closing statement from the defense.
My defendant Pete, James, Jonathan, Ramsey, has been wrongfully accused of unlawful distance, when in reality, this is simply not what occurred. We have heard from an expert witness who told us so eloquently that Jordan is not guilty. We also heard from a character witness, his wonderful, loving mother, who works at ice cream shop, that he is kind and thoughtful and busy doing humanitarian work. What a sham. And we even heard from him. And he said that he did not commit this crime. He's not guilty. Mr. Pete, James, Jonathan, Jordan, Ramsey is simply a busy college student. True. Yeah. Who is doing good things for the world. And Vanessa here just seems to, not have anything else to do, but is her only friend of being busy. So it is clear from all of these testimonies and from Pete himself that he is not guilty of unlawful distancing. He is just a busy college student. So let him be, for God's sake. Plead or just vote for ours.
May we hear the closing statement from the prosecution?
Oh, I'm too busy. I don't have time for my friends. That's essentially what we just heard the defense say. Busyness is a choice. Investing in your relationships is a choice that Mr. Ramsey here did not make. But that Miss Griffin did. Vanessa Griffin, making the effort, flying out to see her friend. We've heard from Miss Griffin herself. She reached out at least twice a day. And then one day, we got no response. We've heard from an eyewitness in the bookstore where an interaction took place. And heard that Mr. Ramsey looked like he wanted to jump out the window. He didn't like his friend.
Objection. Please strike that from the record.
Sustained. I will need you to strike that from your statement.
We heard from Miss Ung, Miss Honorable Ung, that Vanessa is persistent in all relationships, rhinos and humans alike. While Mr. Ramsey has allergic reaction to fire. And finally, we heard from Miss Marilla, the supervisor of the supervisor of our defendant and plaintiff, and heard that Vanessa is guilty of nothing more than being more efficient, being a better worker. And Peter felt bad and felt like he was too busy. So what I'm hearing is that we have proved, without a shadow of a doubt, beyond all reasonable doubt, that Mr. Ramsey is guilty of unlawful distancing. He said, "I'm too busy for my friends," and that was the case.
Well, you've all heard the testimony, and you've all heard the attorney sum it up. And so now, it is you, the jurors, who must help us render the verdict of whether or not Mr. Peter James Jordan Jonathan Ramsey is in fact guilty of unlawful distancing. At this time, I'm going to ask our attorneys and witnesses to turn their backs so that you do not hear their piercing eyes trying to make your decisions. Now, please, by a show of hands, raise your hand if you think that he is guilty of unlawful distancing. And keep them raised high for some time. go tell an impartial party what this number was. Now, will you please raise your hand if you think that the defendant is innocent of unlawful distancing? You may now lower your hands. At this time, you may all turn around. Can we get our bailiff here? Guilty of the crime, then they will be arrested and taken to jail. And if they are innocent, then they will not be. I can reveal at this time that the defendant, Mr. Peter James Jordan Jonathan Ramsey, is guilty of
Peter, come on! Peter! Let's go, Peter! You are under arrest!
Vanessa!
You are under arrest!
Wow.
I'm sorry.
You're happy.
I'm sorry, Peter.
Adjourn.
Julian! And
Peter!
Kieran on keys and Steven on drums!
And Kieran on the drums! Please note that if you actually don't have relationship problems / want to get into a relationship to have problems, we are selling Simps Valentine's Rams, and we have a menu of things that we'll do for someone you're trying to impress. We got options. We'll sing them a love song with our wonderful Mimps. It can be anonymous or not. We will make you look really famous in front of them by taking pictures with you. We'll send 5 to 10 people. We'll make you look really cool by sending 5 to 10 people to go up to you in front of someone you want to impress and be like, oh my god, like I saw you the other day.
We will duel you for the heart of your loved one, and we will lose tragically, and you will win their heart.
We will make you look very heroic by putting ourselves in perilous situations that you can save us from. And we also will do word at a time love letters if you want, or if you really, really want, we'll have Hal, who's a member of the Sims, make up a sonnet on the spot for your loved one. Maybe. There's Hal. And lastly, we also can reenact a shared memory between you and another person. And all of that, just check your emails or like ping someone and be like, where's that QR code? Or come up to us.
We will have a laptop outside for you to buy one right away as you leave.
That.
But I don't have hundreds of dollars. I don't think I can pay for this because it probably costs
Wait,
that
that's
much.
actually crazy because we're sending 5 to 10 people or 2 to 3 in the situation of a love song to do something. And wow, what? Oh, it's such a deal. It's $7 for one and $10 for two, which is like if you bought 2, it'd only be $5 each. Whoa!
Okay, and then finally, it is Anna W's and Donio's first show.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, we gotta love those even little things. Oh my god, so perfect time.